Hello, today I will be reviewing a horror game called Soma. Yes, I know, it's not quite original, as it seems the whole net is talking about this one. I found out about this game from some Let's Play video. As Penumbra and Amnesia are waiting in my play schedule for a few years already, I thought, why not try out Soma for once, because I absolutely love underwater settings, the fish, horrors and so on. Soma is an element of Iranian and Indian mythology. It's a divine unity of a plant called Soma, the drink which is partly made from this plant, and a divine personification of this plant. The drink is said to make people immortal, increase physical strength, and grant the light of God. Supposedly, the structure gel, the black liquid in the game, which reanimates dead organisms and grants life to mechanisms, is an allusion to Soma. The story takes place on an underwater research complex, Pathos 2, which consists of several underwater and surface stations called by the letters of Greek alphabet. What I really loved about this game is the ability to interact with almost any object in human-like nature, that is, pulling drawers out or opening a door with mouse gestures. I like the way the player is able to take any item and turn it to get the view of the other sides of this object. I would have really liked to see this system implemented in, say, the Elder Scrolls series or recent Fallout games. Sadly, this feature is never used in the game as a story-driving gimmick or, say, as a way to solve puzzles. There are absolutely no pictures with something written on the backside. No items with hidden text or, say, secret compartments exist in the game. All the items you are able to pick up are just level-filling junk. I like the way the items are placed though, as there are no objects that seemed out of place on a research station. The attention to details is absolutely marvelous. There is a construction company called Carthage, real Carthage, with an ancient city-state, that has built the entire complex. A lot of this company's products are scattered throughout the stations. There is also a research company called Haimatsu. Haimatsu, also called a Japanese stone pine, is a kind of pine that creeps on the ground just like the game's infected wires, and forms a lot of small bushes, with a lot of their equipment installed in a research site. Lots of documents indicate the research complex's purpose. There are no rooms in the game with dubious purpose like it totally was with Morrowind's Dwemer Ruins or Oblivion's A-Late sites. I've got only one complaint regarding the level layout. It seems there are too few living and bedrooms for such a relatively big number of workers. All the areas in the game are remarkable and fun to explore, be it the bottom of the ocean near Upsilon, the wreck of a huge ship, the fish-catching cages of Omicron, the long thorny way to Tau, or the launch site of Phi. The overall design had this lost technology/ruins of the old civilization feel to it. While the first chapter of the game evokes awe to the extent of modern technology, the middle part has this destroyed culture feel, and the last one only invokes a sense of pity and regret over what once prosperous human race has become. All the characters in the game, including the protagonist, behave in a believable way, which makes them really sympathetic. Simon, the main character, acts like an absolutely normal guy placed in a dire situation. The pathetic Half-Life fashion for a mute protag has thankfully passed, so he engages in quite a lot of dialogues. There are several monsters in the game. All of them are invulnerable and cannot be killed. The monster's origin is reasonably explained, so I can hardly complain about this subject. The monsters proved to be fun except for proxies. The first one, along with Acres, was okay, but the next two were tiring, as it seemed like they respawn in front of you just as you move on to the next location. I also liked the way the story wasn't fed to the player with cutscenes, but instead the player themselves had to search for clues in the game. I felt like you literally explored the surroundings to find out what exactly happened to the world. The main thing is, during my playtime I was really encouraged to explore the setting, to read the messages, to check out the items lying around, the charts on the whiteboard, wrecks of machinery, voice messages and notes. The saving system was an absolute masterpiece, with game saving your progress automatically, which really helped you forget about frantically pressing F5 around every dark corner and actually play the game. Soma delivers relatively hardcore gameplay, as thankfully the developers didn't add those annoying destination markers encouraging players to remember their objectives and complete it only relying on themselves. The game also had this old school feel about it. First of all, every single educated gamer will get the overall vibe of Soma. The only thing that comes to mind while playing the game is System Shock 2. The exploration of monster and biomass/virus infested rooms, reading data and diaries from computers, listening to voice messages. The decision to draw avatars of people instead of opting for a CG or say a game engine equivalent is totally awesome. It's so Metal Gear Solid 1 and System Shock 2 style. I really hated it when Konami changed the codec avatars in MGS2 compared to MGS1. Nowadays, not seeing game engine avatars has this artistic old school feel to it. Anyway, I felt the game was a cool mix of Equinox setting, System Shock mechanics and Amnesia style. Here comes the spoilers part. The game follows post-apocalyptic story template with a comet destroying the whole surface life and only surviving organisms being underwater creatures and human workers on Pathos. I absolutely love the exploration process in such games. Just imagine it, searching abandoned research sites, finding story-related documents, listening to someone else's diaries describing their attempts at trying to save themselves, to survive, etc. Fucking Omega awesome. This game delivers so much in this regard. Through the course of the game you encounter half-dead mutated bodies of the workers, which you sometimes are allowed to put to rest. The encounter with the last remaining physical human was done in a perfect bittersweet tone. You are presented with a choice of letting her continue her miserable life with abominable creatures and no one else to talk with while connected to a life support system, or ending her suffering with a press of a button. In case you choose the last option, she asks you to wait with her until her life support system completely turns off, which is done in an amazing set manner. Similar choice is presented sometime before this encounter when Catherine copies the player into another cyborg construct. By the end of the process, Simon understands that he wasn't really transferred from another body, but actually duplicated, meaning the real Simon is still unconscious in his previous body, and despite the fact that you share memories, this Simon is really another person. This is an interesting cloning dilemma, as cloning wouldn't mean extending the life of a person, but making a copy of them, and despite having common knowledge and habits, those two will be completely different people. Interesting twist happens a little before the copying process. It is revealed that the body of a player is actually that of a female, with robotic components added to a head. The second body is also of a woman. The ending is made as bittersweet as ever. Everything goes fine with the Ark, the virtual reality simulator ending up in a space, with all the human characters included in the program, except for one thing. Their copies were included, meaning the real Simon, his second copy, and Catherine, who made the impossible possible while trying to save the last virtual space inhabited by humans, don't really get to board the boat. Overall, I really recommend the game to all of you, because this one is a really solid title with a good concept and story, several entertaining plot twists, neat graphics, as well as a perfect atmosphere of despair. Those of you guys who found the premise and settings awesome, press thumbs up, and those guys who found the game boring, press thumbs down. See you in the next video, and as always, please be smart and educate yourselves.